So let's go. Quarterfinals time is here among us. So Trotter, he made it to the finals. If you guys remember, Trotter with his infamous Tourney made it to the finals, I believe 2 weeks ago, going head to head against Mr. Rishi. Oh, I might have to look back at our records. Maybe it wasn't Mr. Rishi, yeah, but he was very close to winning the entire thing, but falling short. But second place, still very well done himself. And hey, speaking of that Tourney, it looks like he brought it out here today again.
Yeah, very nice. We're obviously looking at classic Baki team, pretty much staple for a very long time. This is probably his most consistent winning team. I think, I guess barring a 𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗶𝗵, I don't remember if there was a 𝗧𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗶 in that spot. Not quite sure, but definitely the Naga Golder plus 𝗂𝗨 and 𝗵𝗶𝗸 and 𝗂𝗶𝗴 and Kinu. Those six are usually very solid staples. Of course, 𝗂𝗨 is the only remainder of the F4 sort of legend, and is still a staple to this day for pretty much any team.
Yeah.
In the meantime, Trotter is running. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and the Kinu. And for the most part, Trotter is running a bit more an unorthodox team, but basically it's sort of like, if I were to put it in a meme, it's like, can we have a stall team at home, and then Trotter is the stall team at home.
Yeah, it's so interesting. 𝗨𝗨𝗨, 𝗬𝗨𝗺, 𝗂𝗏, Tourney. Not a lot of people can say they're running what Trotter's doing, but he got here for a reason in our top 8 cut. Let's see if he can handle the likes of Tsubaki, who was our #1 seed. And you know, Blue, Tsubaki has been running this team for quite some time. The only differences I see is he usually is always running the Saku, right? Superman Saku has become quite synonymous with Tsubaki. However, I believe he let Saku go a little bit ago for this 𝗂𝗨, and who can blame him? 𝗂𝗨 is a monster of a Temtem.
Absolutely, chunky boy. Reject tanky, accept monkey, and that is exactly what he did. And Kinu pick up here first. Trotter picking up 𝗂𝗨 himself. Just wants something very consistent. Of course, 𝗂𝗨 is that consistent rock, able to do. I mean, 𝗂𝗨 always manages to pay the bills, right? In a lot of cases, 𝗂𝗨, you won't be disappointed, right? He may not do the most, he may not insta-give everything in the game, but he definitely does put his money where his mouth is. So, for sure, something consistent and something that is also very dangerous here. 𝗂𝗨, Tsubaki's actually considering opening with a 𝗂𝗨 here, and I don't blame him. There's not much mental strength to stop this, except for, of course, Naga Ouroboros. But if anything, it's not like Tsubaki is too scared of them. At least I don't think so. Maybe Ouroboros way more due to being toxic, but he could trade perfectly fine against Trotter's team here.
Yeah, and something very interesting is going on here. Both players are respectfully not banning each other's Nagas. So with that 𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗶 on both teams, maybe feeling confident to take on the Nagas. I mean, Trotter has Noxious Bomb 2-Rock, Noxious Bomb 𝗂𝗨, so maybe feeling like it's an easier job taking out this Nagas, which is the reason why he did not ban it. But you know, the fact that he doesn't ban it leaves Tsubaki with the good old combo. Golder Naga is most likely gonna be teamed up on the same team, and we all know how much of a headache that Tem duo can become for any opponent. So Trotter has to have that in mind. He knows not banning the Nagas does leave him susceptible to that combo, but interesting enough, doesn't even pick it up. So maybe Trotter, knowing that Nagas isn't necessarily the best into his team, but yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, picking up the Naga last year, definitely. Again, I feel like the Seed Aura will favor Tsubaki here a little bit. Of course, you can pick up your own Naga to sort of counteract that sort of problem, but still, the issue will stand regardless of the Naga on the side of Tsubaki. Is this 𝗂𝗨 as well, right? You still have to deal with the elephant in the room, which is this 𝗂𝗨. Maybe pressure it down to a lower HP pool, and then at that point, I'm pretty sure Trotter will have an easier time, but it won't be easy. Again, Tsubaki loves running the sort of triple tank format, right? 𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗶𝗶, 𝗂𝗨, all gonna absorb some hits.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, adding one Qiinu buff alone on this Yowler tends to make such an impact. So Trotter immediately bringing out the Nagas to pressure the heck out of this Yowler the next coming turns. But Tsubaki knowing that that's potentially the best line of play. But wait, read for the reads. 2-Rock with the Stone Ball.
Excellent read from the side of Trotter there, reading the Grumper swap in, and Naga is coming in as well. Now, I didn't see Deceit Aura Plus. I'm not sure if you did. So potentially this may be a beta switch to maybe this Naga isn't a Deceit Aura. I haven't actually seen Trotter's team, but regardless, that is excellent damage on the Grumper, because now even if the Naga is Deceit Aura, you can swap that in for someone like a Tortonite or a 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, who can probably absorb that Thunder Strike, and Grumper will get traded here. If Tsubaki understands this, he might swap out, and that gives Trotter so many possibilities. He can even stay in, pressure Yowler out, just gambling on the fact that Grumper has to leave. I mean, Tsubaki isn't necessarily the biggest gambler in the world, especially if it's so major like that.
Yeah, so we do see the Deceit Aura is online, and Grumper foregoing the damage onto the Naga is going with a simple Stone Wall, and the Savage Suplex doing a little bit under 30%, but that means the 2-Rock with one more Stone Ball to the face of the Grumper just eliminated the strongest answer to this Naga's. So hey, Trotter starting off really good and getting some good 33.3% or 33% damage onto this Yowler. But hey, here comes another Qiinu buff. And you know what, Blue? I forgot to point out, I think since Qiinu was picked up on the left spot, making Chamomile proc after the Qiinu buff comes in, he's only at a +1/+1 from Qiinu, but of course the Stone Wall adding a little bit more.
For sure. Yowler definitely taking some pressure, but now Qiinu does have access to Revitalize here. Or no, sorry, he was forcibly swapped in. So, no, Qiinu does not have Revitalize here. Actually, in fact, only has Beta Burst as accessible move. But now the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 comes in, and oh my god, you know what that means? Plus, Collaborator is available, and that will blast this Yowler to Kingdom Come. But Tsubaki, playing it very smartly, moves in the Golder to be maximum priority and hibernate on the Yowler to just stay sustained. But again, Beta Burst just to continue pressuring it. But that's an overexertion on the Naga. And if you want to land that Collaborator, you are going to have to stay in with Trotter's 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. So this Golder is going to pump a lot of damage if he stays in.
Yeah, that is not too bad. So yeah, you're exactly right. The only other mental Temtem is this Strange Vest Naga. It does have Strange Vest, but yeah, Golder, that's one Temtem you don't want attacking into your own Nagas. So yeah, Tsubaki putting Trotter a bit of a weird spot. He wants the Psychic Collab going straight into the Yowler. It's only at +2 special defense. But you know, Trotter at the same time also putting Tsubaki in a bit of a pickle here, because you know, Tsubaki knows Psychic Collaborator is online. And if Yowler has to retreat to the back line, that is a whole lot of buffs he's going to be losing because of Chamomile. +1 attack, +3 defense, +2 special defense. Does Tsubaki want to preserve Yowler's HP rather than these buffs? That is something that's going through these guys' mind.
Oh, absolutely. And both players in a game of absolute chicken will have to figure out what they want here. Of course, Tsubaki probably really considering some ways to at least keep the Yowler on the board, but he's got to be concerned as well. If he stays in and eats a Beta Burst Collaborator, Yowler is as good as dead. And that is not even that's not an uncertain value, right? That's guaranteed if those attacks land. Collaborator Bomb, just absolutely devastating. So if he wants to save a Yowler, at least for a turn, swap in that Barnchi, but then again, you know, that's a lot of stats lost on this Yowler. So
yeah, it's just a tough spot because Tsubaki, as you said, doesn't really have effective damage with this Yowler against two mental Temtems. He has it with the Golder though, so we'll see. I mean, of course, the Nagas did overexert, so the only pressure coming out is from this 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. So maybe Tsubaki willing to just take this, you know, maybe Trotter just goes Beta Burst. Maybe he swaps out Nagas, eats up, you know, maybe eats it up with something like this Tortonite. maybe even the Volorant to pressure out the Golder the following turn as well. Yeah, I don't think Naga is going to be staying in. Let's take a look. Oh, but something we've been forgetting, of course, the 𝗧𝗵𝗶 is online. Maybe something like the good old 𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗵𝗶, but wait a minute. I don't think
you can't bamboozle the 𝗧𝗲𝗺 because of immunity. He's immune to all status conditions.
Very true. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that interaction before, but yeah, I think how 𝗬𝗵𝗶 works, you can't even bamboozle him. So Tsubaki can't even do that line of play. So yeah, this is a tricky turn, and you can tell it's a tricky turn because these guys took a really good time thinking about this turn. So funny enough, Golder does retreat, expecting the Nagais to retreat. Let's see if he made the right choice.
Ooh, Oshidashi was thrown out. He really thought the Naga was going to swap out, but unfortunately, read wrong. 𝗵𝗶𝗆 is even held, so Collaborator is still locked and loaded in the rifle, if that is something Trotter has. Very smart read. I mean, I think Tsubaki's probably shocked that this Naga stayed in like that, but it pays off. Trotter now has access to Fury if he wants to blast both these Tems right here and there. Again, the 𝗃𝗏𝗏 still has Collaborator. 𝗵𝗶𝗆 is accessible. And yeah, I mean, that's just very, and that's an excellent read and definitely a gamble here for a Trotter.
Yeah, absolutely. Such a bold play. I know in the past, Tsubaki has had a tough time reading those risky plays because you just don't expect them. You respect your opponent. You think they will make the most ideal play, but sometimes doing a wrong play ends up being the right play. In this situation, that's exactly what we have here. The Golder was checking that Nagais with a good old Toxic Ink, but Tsubaki retreated the Golder, brought out the 𝗃𝗏𝗆, and he Oshi-dashied the Nagai spot, expecting the Tortonite to come in. So he brought out 𝗃𝗏𝗆, but oh man, now the Yowler has to retreat, so he loses all those buffs Tsubaki worked so hard for.
Absolutely, he just wants to keep that Yowler alive. It's better to keep Yowler alive than to take this attack to the face. Fury will be doing a lot of damage here onto the 𝗃𝗏𝗆. Of course, overexertion once again, and the 𝗵𝗶𝗆 still flies through, so no signs of Collaborator. Perhaps it runs Inner Spirit there instead. Tornado gonna do a lot of damage as well, but remember, special defense is the key of this 𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏, but not enough. That 𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏 does not have any investment, or that 𝗃𝗏𝗆 is a shotgun, but most likely the 𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏 probably doesn't have any investment in special defense, judging from how much damage he took there.
Yeah, it did take a whole lot more than the previous 𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏s we saw, so just one more Hypoxia will be putting it down. But of course, the 𝗧𝗵𝗆 is the thing. Tornado went last turn because of the 3 prio play, but maybe Hypoxia is somewhere in the mix in terms of that speed, so can it go off? Or does Trotter want to play it safe? He's going to be retreating the Nagais for now. Let's see if 𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏 stays in. So it's Volorant for the Nagais. And yeah, I was feeling that, a double swap for the side of Trotter. And it's the double birds coming out to play. Let's see how much they can get done against Tsubaki's current board.
Windburst doing absolutely nothing there, revitalizing, keeping the 𝗃𝗏𝗆 alive. But in this current position, I'm not sure how much keeping 𝗃𝗏𝗆 alive will do here, because I believe the Turok and the Volorant should still be able to pump out the damage, especially on the Kiru spot. Just throw in a Noxious Bomb Feather Gatling, and anything that lands on that spot will be taking damage, even the Golder, right? Or you can even focus down the 𝗃𝗏𝗆 here. Either one should work.
Yeah, we'll see, of course. One thing to consider, if Trotter has an aerobic bird, if that outspeeds the 𝗃𝗏𝗆, gets -1 special defense being aerobic, a 𝗃𝗏𝗆 Hypoxia will be doing well over 50% because of that minus special defense, so that could be something to consider, unless Tsubaki knows it's a special defense one, aka an anaerobic one. So Kinu does retreat for the time being. Let's see who's it going to be. It's going to be the big boy Golder coming onto the board, and a double swap. So we had a double swap from Trotter. Now it's a double swap for Tsubaki.
Yeah, and it's just still unfortunate that Chamomile is the thing being used here, because again, you cannot bamboozle your own Yowler. That's an anaerobic Volorant though, which is pretty good for the side of Tsubaki. That means he doesn't have to worry about any kind of HKS damage that could outscale the Golder to a crazy extent, right? It's still manageable, but it is a tank that you still have to go through, and Speaking of tanks, 𝗧𝗪 isn't going to last much longer here.
Yeah, well done. Trotter literally covering all bases there, going with 2 AoE attacks, Toxic Plumes, bringing down 𝗧𝗪 just a tad little bit, and then Rockfall, bringing them down to that 17.4%. So, Tsubaki finding himself in a top spot. Trotter early on making some fantastic reading that Grumper swap in, and then staying in with the Nagas. Those 2 key moments right there in this match have been what been giving Trotter the slight edge we see here right now. But Tsubaki by no means is completely out of it. Still has some good answers to a lot of Trotter's Tems, but Trotter running a little bit away with the game so far.
Noxious Bomb connects, and it looks like Tsubaki had decided to sacrifice 𝗧𝗪 to get a free swap in for Naga, which is not a bad choice, because remember, this is sort of classic Tsubaki, right? This Naga Golden combo, but the bad part about this is that Rockfall will do indiscriminate damage. No, not even that. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 will be swapped in instead. And I forgot, Tsubaki does not have a Naga here. He is in fact running Nagaless, at least for this round, and the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 forcibly swapped in and should absorb the Rockfall, but I struggle to see where Tsubaki's damage is going to come from.
Yeah, I 100% agree. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is the only real damage dealer here. And you know what? With this Grumper getting taken out, with this 𝗧𝗪 getting taken out, Trotter's team is looking very good to close things out. Nagas doesn't have too much direct answers. Of course, Golder can't take it. But more importantly, Leonardo feeling pretty good. Of course, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is going to do a little bit, but with Strange Vest on that 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, the special attack Crystal Spike from Leonardo tonight should be more than enough to easily at least 2 of them take it down. And yeah, Tsubaki, he said those team, Trotter's team, looking a bit too fearsome. With let's tune in. He is 1 game up. And let's see if anything changes in these pick and bans. They both, I believe Tsubaki banned the Volirin, and then Trotter, I believe it was the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. No. Tsubaki got the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Oh, it was the Wolfie. That's what Trotter banned.
Yeah.
So let's try to think about what gave Tsubaki the biggest problems. Almost 𝗧𝗵𝗶𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 kind of did most damage. Nagas posed a big threat as well. Or maybe Tsubaki just feels really confident with that Volirin ban, which is always fair. Volirin is such a good threat. And hey, yes, the Turok. That was a really good Temtem too. That early Stone Ball was pretty much the only thing taking down the Grumper. So already, already changing things up with that Turok ban. Well done.
Yeah, this is, I mean, it's the biggest respect you can get, right? You're like, okay, at Tsubaki, you're like, okay, that was an amazing read, but the only reason that read worked out was because it was a Turok. And so get rid of the Turok entirely and open to the Grumper even. He says, you're not catching me off guard. But he lets 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 through, which was the first ban in the previous round. And, I mean, I love 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, personally speaking, especially in a meta where being consistent is everything. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is just the definition of consistency, right? You know exactly what it's going to do. You know how tanky it is. And you know how much pressure it can apply. And even if that doesn't work to your advantage sometimes, it does just mean you have this like anchor on your team. Sort of similar to how you would say a 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 would do, except, you know, you have more access to varieties, right? You have a Rushiol, you have Resin Trap, you have Hypoxia, you have the different kinds of damage sources. And while 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 doesn't really provide much aside from being a walking meat shield.
Yeah, to sometimes dish out the damage, but yeah, we'll see. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is a good pickup here. Tsubaki with the Grumper Volirin definitely able to dish out damage to both of these Temtems. Noxious Bomb Thunderstrike connects neutrally as well on the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, and if he wants to go for 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏's Feather Gatling Thunderstrike as well goes really good, maybe enough to bring it down. We will see. So we'll think about what's the bigger threat overall for Trotter's team, or against Tsubaki's team rather. So we'll see what the final picks are. Trotter can't go out without a Tort tonight, so does indeed recruit it. And hey, picking up that other starter Temtem in Nagas as well.
This is a very, very choreographed position by Tsubaki, I think. I think Trotter played very well, banned Yowlar. So Tsubaki, he basically put Tsubaki in a position where he's telling Tsubaki, hey, where's your damage going to come from, right? It's not going to be the, where's your, late game damage going to come from? Where's that oomph to push your team to the next level, to at least, pose a threat if you get set up. If you don't have that pose a threat when you get set up sort of moment, a team like Trotter's, where it can do a lot of things, will just chip away at you and then eventually hit the killing blows. And once the killing blows comes around, then the mid game becomes much cleaner for Trotter, right? Mm-hmm. So Tsubaki, I think, is kind of forced to pick Naga here. Maybe he can pick up 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, but it's just kind of forced. He just lacks damage because that's anaerobic for Tsubaki.
Yeah, fair enough. Last game he picked up 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 because he felt a little weak to those double toxic, that Tourney, the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. So fair enough, he did pick up 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 last game, but this game he's picking up Nagas. Is that gonna be the difference maker? I mean, a little bit of the combo is backline right there. Golder Nagas. We know how strong those two Temtems can be, and Kinu also in the mix. But yeah, you're right, Blue. Not too much crazy damage potential. Trotter, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 hits kind of hard. Tourney can hit fairly good with that crystal spike. So we'll see. Tsubaki usually likes to control the game just by making the sharper reads. But let's go. Game number 2 of our quarterfinals is underway. So Tsubaki a bit on the back foot, but we know how he thrives under pressure. So 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 and 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 are his starting lineups. Let's take a look who he might be going into. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 poses. I was just going to say, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 poses a bit more threat into Golder. So maybe looking to try to gun it down first.
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, that would be a good plan here for Tsubaki. For sure, I think the main idea is to apply a lot of pressure. Obviously, he probably won't be picking off things as fast as Trotter in terms of just, the average difference. So if he can get set up, do the classic Tsubaki thing where you just have an immovable rock and an unstoppable force, he should be able to maintain it. I mean, I think the struggle as well is that because Trotter also has a Naga, he can easily counter the Golder Naga with his own Naga, and suddenly your Bamboozle strat no longer works, right? Golder's no longer the fastest animal alive. It goes back to being the slowest Temtem alive. So
yeah,
it's definitely not easy to be Tsubaki, but there's no Turok this time, so the Grumper will stay alive longer, and that Naga threat isn't as potent because obviously the Grumper is completely healthy here.
Alright, so it looks like everything is staying put, so no swaps in here. Let's see who's dishing out the damage. So it looks like he's ignoring the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, expecting perhaps a swap, and gunning down 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Wait a minute, can this Thunderstrike put a damper on 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏's party here? Let's take a look. T-Strike.
Yeah, this 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 wasn't very tanky. That's how we saw it, and it does get the kill. That's a huge kill. That's how you get a very safe Urushiol as 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. That's a Psychic Collaborator threat, and that is a very big pickoff. Tsubaki-chan willing to take so much damage this time. I'm surprised that he went for that, but desperate times also desperate measures. You're on the back foot, might as well go for some risks, and that risk paid off.
Yeah, not too bad whatsoever. Getting a turn 1 kill always feels good, so well done to Tsubaki starting off game number 2 his way. But did come at a good cost there. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 finding himself at a 3rd HP bar. It does have +1 speed, making him the slowest Temtem on the board. However, interesting enough, Trotter bringing out Naga, staring down this Grumper. Maybe he's expecting Grumper not to stay in because of the resin trap, and we actually saw it getting scared away there.
Absolutely, Golder swaps in here, and now is the fastest 10, but Trotter reads perhaps that this Golder was going to swap in because Tortonite's on the field, and this is Tortonite's domain. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is swapping out here, of course, didn't want to get pressured out. It was, in fact, a rollback, and the Kinu going to come in to try and build up the Golder, be as tanky as possible. But if Urushiol lands here on the Kinu, that would actually make me lose my mind. No, instead, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is thrown out. Oh, perhaps he thought the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, the Golder was coming on the right spot, but not the case.
Yeah, I think at the very least, he was trying to kill the Volrun. A Hypoxia at minus special defense 1 would have killed the bird. So Trotter ignoring the Grumper. So I love what Trotter did there. And as well as Tsubaki, a lot of high-level plays going on there. A little bit behind the scenes if you can't see. But Nagai's baiting the Tsubaki Grumper to stay into Thunderstrike. And then a Tsubaki expecting Grumper to... Tsubaki expecting Trotter to resin trap the Grumper because it wanted to stay in for the Nagais, but of course everyone doing a switcheroo. Trotter retreating the Nagais, Grumper getting retreated for the Golders. So each player reading the read, well done. And hey, a little Hypoxia connecting on the Kinu at the end of the day, not too bad. But yeah, Blue, you're right. Yurishul's online, and there's only one Temtem that could take that, will be the Volrun. But he's kind of dangerously low. Something like C-Spike Yurishul onto that left spot doesn't feel all that bad.
Yeah, this is not the most this is not the best board state for Trotter either. Just because again, Toxic Inks will start denting Lohwally. I believe Lohwally can tank about 3 Toxic Inks and a Toxic Tick before going down. But you know, you don't really want to lose Lohwally right now. Even you've already lost Adoraboros, and if you let this Golden Naga go out of hand, it will pose a problem. And Tsubaki running a aerobic Volrun is also a surprise to me, actually. So I'm interested to see if that will come into play later. But Lohwally will be retreating, it's understandably so, and the anaerobic Volrun will be swapping in. Tsubaki, perhaps reading this, swapping back in Grumper. So reading the Volrun coming back in is very smart, and Stonewall as well. So Tsubaki playing his cards right, getting the right moves in, but the Stonewall as well by the Tourney wants to play ball, but Tsubaki, I think he should get there much, much faster.
Yeah, not too bad. So just a beautiful turn for these Temps to buff up. So Kinu buffing up the Grumper, Tourney buffing up himself, as we've known Trotter to do, buff up this Tourney with that Confine trait, making it very easy to get Leonardo mostly all the way buffed up. So might be on the road there. But this Grumper, beautiful job for Tsubaki, understanding that Grumper is literally almost the win condition, if not just the win condition for Tsubaki. Completely obliterates the Nagais, wrecks the Volrun, decent into Tourney with those mud showers, and then neutral damage into Lohwally. So well done. And it has a sweatband as well. Sweatband Grumper, so buffing up his sweatband target, not too shabby. So let's see how much this Grumper can do. Mainly, probably looking at just a good old Thunderstrike. Now that the Tourney is on the board, I think it's a rather free Thunderstrike onto that Volrun spot. Nothing really eats it that well.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure here on Trotter. Again, the time is going to tick down, and Tsubaki will only get stronger and stronger stats. But Crystal Spike's gonna go in. This is Grumper trying to do as much damage as possible. It's solid, but I don't think that's enough. Toxic Plume, though, will also at least pressure. Attack down doesn't really matter too much, but the anaerobic increase in special defense is important. Revitalize on the Kinu as well. Keep it healthy, keep it alive. Definitely the game plan here for Tsubaki. Thunderstrike doing 50% of the anaerobic Volrun's HP, and that's not what you want to see.
Yeah, definitely not. That was including that +1 special defense. So imagine without that buff there. So well done, Trotter. Mitigating a little bit more damage there with that toxic technique. And we saw, of course, the Volrun was going first. So it is able to get one more toxic, bringing it up to +2 special defense. But I'm not too sure you want to leave the Volrun in to take up another one. The Crystal Spike plus the T-Plume did do a bit, about a third of that Grumper's remaining HP, but not really all that much. The Stonewall keeping a bit healthier than it would otherwise. So I think Tsubaki find himself in a really good position for game number 2, and it's only turn 5 here.
Cage gonna keep in the Kinu here, and the Grumper probably really wants to pick up that Kinu, and the swap is prevented. Tsubaki caught with pants down, And so is this 𝗂𝗍 going straight to the grave. Not quite yet. Barely survives. And the Thunder Strike, well, barely survives an understatement because so is the Volorend.
Yeah, that +2 special defense making all the difference. So 100% increase on that special defense of this Volorend. And yeah, surviving so barely. But at the same time, the cage was good keeping the 𝗂𝗍 in. But so does this bird have to stay in. But I guess so. Killing the 𝗂𝗍 is a lot of value. No more 𝗂𝗍 buffs for the rest of the game. I think that's what Trotter has in mind. And I think he's going to achieve that there. The bird, I believe, went first the previous 2 times. And hey, HKS 𝗃 does indeed go first. So 𝗂𝗍 is eliminated from game number 2.
Yeah, definitely. Just instantly picking it off. Understandably so. The Thunder Strike will land, finally killing off this Volorend. A 1-for-1 trade, but it does stop a lot of the shenanigans that Tsubaki was trying to pull. And Torta Knight's Garden going to heal the Torta Knight to full here, and also doom the Grumper. But that's not actually a big deal, because I'm pretty sure the Grumper at this point is just a glorified Stonewall bot.
Yeah, I wouldn't say, I mean, maybe so, but yeah, still has some good damage to dish out on that Nagai's. But you know, that Torta Knight's Garden, Trotter knows that is not permanent with things like that Golder and Bamboozle. And Grumper, he tends to do, you know, one Thunder Strike adds that exhaustion tick onto Grumper. So he has the ability to remove the Doom. I think Trotter just wants to force Tsubaki to make a couple weird plays. But yeah, Golder does come out for Tsubaki. And now 𝗀𝗧𝗺 comes out. And you know what's still online for 𝗀𝗧𝗺? We never saw a Resin Trap. But as well, 𝗃𝗄𝗃 is staring down the Golder as well.
Yeah, this 𝗀𝗧𝗺 probably going to throw out a couple of 𝗃𝗄𝗃s here. I'm not sure what the Torta Knight's going to do. He is not fully set up just yet, so maybe another Stonewall, most likely. Actually, if the 𝗀𝗧𝗺 maintains or at least survives for a bit, he could also definitely pose a problem. But Thunder Strike all in onto this 𝗀𝗧𝗺, definitely just trying to put some pressure. And my god, that Grumper hits like a truck. Even though 𝗀𝗧𝗺 is taking so much damage here. Toxic Ink as well to follow, and this 𝗀𝗧𝗺 doesn't have any HP whatsoever. That's really low for 𝗀𝗧𝗺, actually, taking so much damage from Toxic Ink and Thunder Strike.
Yeah, including that 𝗃𝗃𝗃, mitigating that toxic damage, but not that much, is just barely surviving after that toxic tick with 3% HP. So any little gust of wind will take that 𝗀𝗧𝗺 all the way down. So Trotter thinking about that. However, Grumper has that exhaustion tick as what we talked about, so Golder can easily Bamboozle now, eliminate the Doom, and then this Grumper still posing a threat against Trotter's team. I think this is Tsubaki's game, or looking like Tsubaki's game. 2 Temtems down on the side of Trotter, the single 𝗂𝗍 for Tsubaki, and here goes, just in case the Grumper removes the Doom, you gotta get some damage on there.
Absolutely, Resin Trap doing a lot of damage, but it traps the Grumper, and that does remove Doom, so can't remove Doom if you do remove it yourself, I guess. Crystal Spikes as well to follow, but it's not enough. Bamboozle onto the Grumper, removes exhaustion, but it was going to rest regardless. But now Bamboozle going to keep that Grumper alive, and the all-in is unsuccessful from Trotter.
Yeah, that was actually a super well done play for Trotter, knowing exactly what Tsubaki had in mind. Had to save the Grumper with the Bamboozle, but Uriel popping it, and Grumper is no more. So biggest threat has been dealt with. So this is Trotter maybe making a bit of a comeback here. Torta Knight is very hard to deal with Tsubaki only having the Volorend there, and it's a minus special defense 1 bird. But man, it's close, but Trotter just 2 Temtems remaining.
Absolutely, and what a battle it is. The Golder is actually not that useful here. At least it always goes last in this situation. But I'm not sure Trotter can hold this.
Yeah, you know, usually, as you said, Golder gets so much value under the Sea Aura, but with both Nagai's on the board, that means something like a 3-power Crystal Spike could be going first. Torta Knight What are we doing? It looks like he's going to be overexerting, so 100%. Jeez, a 46% out the door for this Not Guys.
Yeah, doing so much damage here. The Beta Burst Crystal Spikes is not enough, and the Toxic Ink Trade will not go just yet, but it is clear that a 1-for-1 is to follow, but this is the difference maker. There's a Valorant in the back, and there's nothing Trotter can do to stop it. And if his Naga goes down, you can perma-bamboozle the Naga, surely. At least too much for the Tourney to stop.
Yeah, and it looks like it will be going down this turn. Unless, of course, Trotter was running a cheeky energy manip. No one runs a 3 prio play when you're running to see aura, but it's for moments just like this. I rarely doubt it, but let's take a look. I didn't get to see whose Nagaz was faster, but it looks like Tsubaki getting that Nagaz Fury off first. So Nagaz on the side of Trotter has been dealt with. That means Nagaz and Bamboozle combo is 100% online. I don't think Trotter will be able to deal with this Nagaz any longer.
Yeah, that is absolutely heartbreaking. There was not enough stamina for Crystal Spikes, and even if he did, he would overexert way too much damage, especially with the Valorant still in the back. You kill Naga, you get an HKS straight to the dome. But there should be no way to hold this. Not anymore, at least, for the side of Trotter. Perhaps trying to cage and then stonewall himself, just try and keep as tanky as possible. Throw out a Torch Knight Guardian here or there, but if he can't kill the Naga somehow, this is probably his game to lose.
Yeah, so making it a bit problematic for the side of Tsubaki. Gonna be going with the Tortonized Garden on the Golder, putting him on that ticking time clock. However, yeah, this is kind of good. Tortonite heals back up. I believe he healed more than the damage the Psy Surge did. Tsubaki, of course, he can't go for an end buff. So wait a second. Is big old Leonardo gonna carry Tsubaki to success? I mean, as you said, the bird's still in the back. It's at +1 speed here.
Wow! This Golder says, nah, screw it, man. I need to do damage. And he tries, but now the Golder is almost maxed. This Beta Burst gonna do as much as he can, but it does 3% damage. That's an overexerted. What? 3% for what? A Naga death. And this Valorant is gonna try, but Crystal Spikes is accessible, and Golder cannot remove Doom from itself.
Yeah, that was very peculiar. Just a tad bit. I know Tsubaki always think about the best line of play, but I think he maybe had to save that Nagaz. But I mean, I know it wasn't doing damage, so let's see how much this bird can do. But as you said, I think one Crystal Spike might be taking him down, but 60% all the way to 20. All right.
Oh, if this overexert drops the Tortonite into a compromised position, this might be actually a chance. 12.5%. If only it wasn't toxic.
Yeah, if Tsubaki had one more turn, I believe 2 harmful licks would have done the job. I don't think it was enough for 12.5. So did Leonardo just make a 3v1 comeback? Wow. That is absolutely absurdity. Trotter, our number 8 seed, gonna be one-upping Mr. Tsubaki. So incredible, Trotter. GG. And hey, Blue, it looks like we tuned in at the perfect time as a pick and bans. Let's go with this is game number 3. What do you think, Blue? You think this is a game number 3?
This is probably game number 3. I would assume so. I don't think their teams are the type of teams to last 30 turns, unless I'm wrong. And they have been going at it last game for like 30 turns, but
yeah, I think we got the confirmation in the chat, ladies and gents. This is it. One tamer as well moving forward to challenge Trotter and his infamous Tortonite in the semifinals. Is it Kamiii? Is it Scooteezy? Both of these tamers have been playing brilliantly this whole tournament. And Scooteezy with a bit of an unconventional team these days. Super conventional back in the 𝗬𝗵𝗶 Hypno Turbo meta. But we don't get to see it too often. Did Kamiii come prepared, or does he have what it takes? I mean, they each took a game off each other, so each is able to defeat each other. It just comes down to who makes the better reads within this game itself. Kamiii, orange side, Scooteezy, blue side. Does that make a difference?
J-Dragon would be proud. That is for certain. This 𝗧𝗵𝗶 on the field going to be a very important factor to dealing with these nature Tems that Kamiii have picked up. But open-ended last pick for Kamiii is definitely going to shake things up. Scooteezy, I'm not sure why he's considering here, because I would not be picking 𝗂𝗶𝗆 here ever. Never. I would ever consider 𝗂𝗶𝗆 here.
Yeah, not against a team like this. The 𝗧𝗵𝗺, the 𝗵𝗵𝗆, the 𝗦𝘂𝗽𝗀. You're exactly right. Scooteezy heard you loud and clear. No way is he picking up 𝗂𝗂𝗆, but rounding out the team for Kamiii will be that 𝗂𝗏. So this is it. Game number 3 of our quarterfinals. Essentially the very last game of the quarterfinals. One person left to solidify that special, I was about to say the special defense, the semifinals. What am I talking about? The semifinals. Yes. So let's see. Let's check out these openers.
For sure. 𝗵𝗶𝗆, 𝗧𝗵𝗺, and right away they go straight for the damage. 𝗧𝗵𝗺 Watercut already taking half his stamina pool, trying to do as much damage on the 𝗬𝗊𝗃 as possible. Double gash to follow on the 𝗵𝗶𝗆 as well. Toxic Ink to trade. So the trades have been sufficient, but a Mud Shower will uneven the odds here. If the 𝗬𝗊𝗃 gets picked off, no, not quite. 𝗬𝗊𝗃 will drop to 16% HP, and the trade goes in favor of Kamiii.
Yeah, only in that terms of damage right there. Of course, 𝗬𝗊𝗃 has Hook Kick online. However, I agree with you, Blue. Trade did go on Kamii's side. 𝗧𝗵𝗺 3 prio technique went first last time. It will go first one more time. So this 𝗬𝗊𝗃 has to go out. And taking a look at the back line, there's really nothing that eats a WCL whatsoever. So Kamiii a bit of an edge early on. This 𝗧𝗵𝗺 looking very good. Potato, Acid Reflux is not online just yet, so has to go with a simple Toxic Ink one more time. Yeah, I think yeah, 𝗧𝗵𝗺 just kind of putting a damper on Scooteezy's ideas of hook kicking 𝗵𝗶𝗆 there. At least Scooteezy gets a lot of damage. This isn't a Colossity 𝗧𝗵𝗺, so isn't getting +1 defense from these Toxic Inks, making it a lot more manageable to take down.
Yeah, swapping in the 𝗵𝗆𝗆 here. A very brave move, especially since that used to be a 𝗬𝗊𝗃. And also there's a 𝗵𝗶𝗆 still in the field, but Kamiii double swapping himself here for Kinu 𝗦𝘂𝗽. So 𝗦𝘂𝗽 will be getting that special defense bonus. And this 𝗧𝗵𝗆𝗆, if it goes turbo, actually, bolstering the 𝗵𝗆𝗆 speed as well as its own, is gonna try and win the speed game. This is actually a perfect spot for 𝗵𝗆𝗆. Of course, because of this 𝗦𝘂𝗽, tornado damage is gonna be significant.
Yeah, not too bad. Good read for Scooteezy. And Kamiii protecting the 𝗧𝗵𝗺, but Scooteezy said, you know what, this 𝗧𝗵𝗺 isn't going to be sticking around. Let's just get a good old turbo play. So now the Potato, now this 𝗵𝗆𝗆 are the fastest Temtems on the board. 100% increase on Potato speed, on 𝗵𝗆𝗆 speed. And as you said, a big heavy tornado is online for this 𝗵𝗆𝗆. So staring straight at 𝗦𝘂𝗽, Kamiii has a couple options. He has the 𝗵𝗶𝗆 in the back. He has the 𝗂𝗏 in the back. 𝗵𝗶𝗆 has the chamomile, so if he expects the 𝗧𝗏𝗺 to stay in, but no, it looks like he's going to swap over to Tanner the grandpa. Maybe a turbo play one more time. Man, Scooteezy loves going fast, and fast he will go.
Oh, and he will go for it. Triple choreography, beating up the 𝗵𝗆𝗆 and the grandpa again, but the stone wall on the stone bird gonna secure and fortify it, and this bird is probably the hardest thing to kill on Kamii's side for Scooteezy than anything else really. Well, obviously you still have the not 𝗦𝘂𝗽, but 𝗧𝗵𝗆𝗆 to do toxic damage, but barring that, it will be a struggle to kill.
Yeah, and it looks like Kamiii recognizing that 𝗃_𝗏 is that one Temtem being a Wind-Tem that does provide a lot of resistance to Scooteezy's team, so making that resistance even better with the good old Stone Wall on that 𝗃_𝗏, so not too bad. And hey, both of these tamers rocking 𝗃_𝗏. 𝗃_𝗏 stocks going up.
My.
And jeez. Man, Scooteezy looks to only know one button so far, and that button is turbo. 3 turbos back to back to back. Very impressive.
Yeah, we're straight back to the hypnosis meta, ladies and gentlemen. Hold your hat as Keanu puts the grandpa to sleep, so can't retaliate with its own hypnosis, but press X plus and spot the speed. Oh my god.
Everything is it is online pretty much. Tanner at +4 speed, Potato +2, Rocky Tan +2, and this Barnchy at +4 speed. So if there's any question of who's going first, it's easy to say Scooteezy should always be going first in these matchups. So let's see, can Kamiii come back from this disparity of the speed difference here? Or discrepancy. Sorry.
Yeah, for the Gatling follows through, and the and the 𝗀𝗏 will get healed up regardless. So now the Nature Wall versus the Hyper Speed, and speed can only get you so far. So Scooteezy will have to pull something else out of his sleeve, maybe some damage. HKS Noxious Bomb, or HKS Feathered Gatling is also a possibility, but still will be in need of that sort of situation.
All right, so Grandpa coming back awake, 𝗃_𝗏 coming back out, maybe expecting something like a hyperkinetic coming its way. HKS, where's it thrown? And it does catch the 𝗃_𝗏 on the entry. Not too bad, a little bit under 25%. And hey, it looks like we were expecting a hypno control from Scooteezy's side. It looks like all the sleeping powder is on Kamii's side. So had the Grandpa sleeping, now has the Potato sleeping, so not all that bad.
Yeah, the Keanu definitely getting its value, preventing these sort of combos from coming alive right away, right? I mean, the speed bonus, it would have been very hard to stop this, but the hypnosis comes through against the chamomile grumpers, so Scooteezy getting countered in every direction. Well done here by the side of Kamiii, holding off against this threat. And Scooteezy has made 0 progress. Well, he's made some progress, but not at a pace that you would enjoy as this kind of hypnosis build.
Yeah, as a game slow and steady wins the race. Funny enough, Scooteezy wants to go fast, but yeah, it's just a back and forth. So far, the Grumper I thought was going to catch a stone wall on the entry, but hey, revitalized 25% up. Not too bad as well. Grumper checking this Grandpa, so of course Grandpa has to retreat, and it's gonna be 𝗃_𝗏 that takes neutral damage, or actually neutral damage from this Thunder Strike. Let's see if Kamiii read it, or maybe can't really do anything. Maybe a stone wall.
Wow, are you serious? More turbos. Now +4 on everybody. Thunder Strike to follow, and it does do a lot of damage. I mean, it doesn't matter, you know, you can be as fast as you want, you will not run death. So, 𝗃_𝗏, gotta do something, my man.
Yeah, and of course, it can definitely dish out the damage on this Grumper. We saw how bad a stone ball did on the Grumper. Easily over 60% for sure on most Grumpers. So that's something Kamii's considering here. However, Yggdrasil, it doesn't matter how fast you are, unless Yggdrasil gets put to sleep by something like this 𝗃𝗏𝗏. Yggdrasil and its allergic spread, or even a simple spores, will most likely bring this 𝗃_𝗏 into the range to end its days. With the toxic ticks, those 3 toxic ticks, 37.5%. Most likely after the spores connects, or allergic spreads, because I think it does a little bit more damage. A tough position for Scooteezy if he wants to keep this 𝗃_𝗏 in. At the very worst, there's no other Temtem that can eat these toxic ticks on that left spot, so let's take a look.
Yeah, the attack onto the Grumper going in, and it almost instantly kills it. This is the damage where I'm talking about, but the trade is just way more significant right now. The Thunderstrike secures the kill onto the Turok, and that is one grounded bird. And the Grumper will sustain for a little bit. Of course, still probably will go down to the next attack hit that lands on it. But again, Scooteezy is not making progress, and his birds of a feather are flocking together.
That is right.
They're not doing much damage.
Yeah, and the two of the birds are still kicking, so of course 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 could come out, but this Grumper making it a bit troublesome to do. And you know, really good for Scooteezy gunning down the Grumper. If he would have killed the Grumper right there, it would be looking very, very good. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 feels like he has an easy time without that Grumper. So we'll see Kamiii pulling a bit ahead with that first early game kill on that +4 speed to Rock. And now 𝗬𝗓𝗃 coming out, and that's a perfect opportunity for this 𝗬𝗓𝗃. You know, you couldn't do it with the 3 prio Tsubaki on the board, but now 𝗬𝗓𝗃's hook kick has become the second fastest thing. Of course, Potato with the +4 speed is the fastest, but now 𝗬𝗓𝗃's hook kick can come alive. And you know what? Grumper is at the HP where a simple Crystal Bite also kills it. So maybe he's going to go for C-Bite just to cover the Kinu spot too.
Toxic Ink tries to kill off the Grumper, but it's not enough. Hook kick is committed to do so, but the Ninja still staring down this 𝗬𝗓𝗃, and he says, yeah, goodbye, my friend. Resistance can only get you so far. So a 1-for-1 trade actually turned into a 2-for-1 trade because the Turok also went down. So right now, Kamiii still has the Salad Squad, and Scooteezy down to the Wintems and a Nox.
Yeah, and I believe this Grandpa does not have HKS. Actually, no. Last thing it did, I believe we saw a Hypnosis onto that Chamomile Grumper. So I think HKS is 100% online. Maybe like 90% online if I'm remembering right. But yeah, HKS most likely online. But Yggdrasil somewhat tanky with that +2 special defense. I guess you gotta eat it. Or you bring out 2 Rock. Yeah, you definitely don't want to bring out 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏.
Yeah, the HKS all in here has to try and kill off Ninja, but no, actually goes straight for the Kino, gets that kill, guarantees that bag instead, stops that out, but doesn't get through. Toxic Ink trade on the Grandpa, and time begins to tick.
Yeah, not that bad. Of course, Scooteezy had effective damage on the Ninja, but you also had a kill on the Kinu. No more stone walls, no more Kinu buffs, so well done for Scooteezy. Evening out the game here. 2 Temtems down on each side. 3 Temtems remaining. Kamiii has a bit of the buffs in terms of defensive prowess. Scooteezy has the buffs in terms of I want to go fast. And, you know, equals power in terms of HKS in this regard. So let's see, speed versus defense. Who is gonna take it? You know, 𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏 only has 2 Rock in the back line to take him down. We'll think about it a little bit. Let's see, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 also gets wrecked by 𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏 Acid Reflux. This is close.
For sure, and the best part about this is because 𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏 is here, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 will not be exposed to getting shredded by the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, right? Or shredded by the Ninja. So the pace is there. The question is, will Grandpa survive another turn to HKS? I'm not quite sure if he will, unfortunately.
Yeah, you know what? I think he's just going to ignore Potato until 2 Rock can end it near the end. So I think the game plan here for Kamiii is just keep gunning down that Grandpa spot. So we could be seeing WCL into the Grandpa and then something like another lurking spread. But no, the Hypnosis will be putting 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 to rest for this turn and the next one.
Yeah, and there's Hypnosis on the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 as well. So he might try and put the Ninja to sleep. But remember, a lot of the time, Ninja is run with energy drink. So if it has energy drink, you might be just wasting your time here. Regardless, double wind strike incoming. And can Kamiii read the double wind strike? And where would it go?
Yeah, so true, right? Hyperkinetic strike. No bully online just yet, but a +4 speed is more than enough damage to add onto that HKS formula. And 𝗏𝗠𝗀, I believe a tornado still online. So where does he want to throw in both of these attacks? Because Kamiii wants to read it with the 2-rock, but you know, I think 𝗧𝗵𝗵 might be the better bet. But he has Potato to deal with the 𝗧𝗵𝗵 as well. I mean, I could see value for both. 𝗧𝗫𝗀, I mean, might as well do effective damage where you can. But maybe you just kill 𝗧𝗵𝗵 while it's sleeping here. I can't call it. What are you thinking, Blue? Oh, nothing swaps out.
Oh, HKS shuts down the 𝗧𝗫𝗀. Actually eats that for breakfast, but unfortunately, lightning may not strike twice, but I guess wind does. Regardless, 𝗧𝗫𝗀 does go down and secures that for sure. 𝗧𝗵𝗵 caught sleeping on the job, but now 2-rock comes out and he is able to pressure out this 𝗏𝗠𝗀. This 𝗏𝗏𝗀, yes, it's +4 speed. It'll get an attack off, but it's gonna explode here if it takes a combo straight up.
Yeah, and of course, Hypnosis is back online, so this is where the turbos come into effect. This is where you get the value from those turbos. Hypno should be always going first, even in front of a 3-prio move like WCL, so 2-rock most likely not getting off anything due to a Hypno. And then this 𝗧𝗵𝗵 might be having to take an attack from this 𝗏𝗠𝗀, something like Hypoxia, which should be very close to doing at least half of the HP remaining on the 𝗧𝗵𝗵. So I think it's actually Kamiii in a tough spot here. So Wind Burst on the 𝗧𝗵𝗵. All right, no Hypnosis. It looks like he's going for the kill, and he does get it.
Absolutely, that 𝗧𝗵𝗵. I mean, the special defense is not enough to hold. The Feather Gatling from the 2-rock tries to do damage, but that's basically all you can do. Stone Ball is too expensive stamina-wise to try and fight off 3 Tems. But I mean, in this situation, is it really practical to think that the 2-rock can hold this? Kamiii fighting till his last breath, and this HKS gonna make that process go faster, albeit a little bit faster. Bitter Burst should do direct damage here though, and the 2-rock slowly chipping away. Rockfall gonna do a lot of damage, gonna pick off the Grandpa, but the 𝗏𝗠𝗀 still stands, and here comes the Nox, and I don't think he can hold so many toxic ticks.
Yeah, I don't believe so. Something like another Beta Burst, another Toxic Ink will be enough. So Wind Burst just to bring it down, and Toxic Ink plus the little 2 toxic ticks, more than enough. A final Feather Gatling. But ladies and gentlemen, Scooteezy with the Turbo team will be moving forward into the semifinals to verse off Trotter. And hey, maybe Trotter having a hard time dealing with all this wind pressure in that tour tonight. So